of DOL. What can we do? What are some opportunities that we have that DOL has absolutely nothing to do with? That all the stuff that we just watched that's kind of depressing. But again, you're going, it's change. There's got to be a cone in there somewhere. And we'll find it. But what are some opportunities that we have? And one huge one is wealth transfer. According to LIMRA, 85% of retirees never spend down the money that they put into annuities. And logically, the same would go for money sitting on the sidelines and in, brokerage accounts or in banks and stuff like that. 85% never spend down the money. So if that's the reality, that 85% passed it on to the next generation, then why are we having it in a taxable vehicle when we can have it in a tax-free vehicle if we know that that's the plan? Well, because there's more to the story than just they're passing it on, right? Taxes and what if something happens. So that's what this is for. So let's dive in here to wealth transfer. Learn the one simple question you should ask every single client that you meet with. If they're 50 plus and they have, a couple of the things that this is not the one question, but what's your goal with this money, right? What are we trying to accomplish here? So the one question though is, do you have any accounts or assets that you've specifically earmarked to pass on? Right? Children, charity, church, anything that you specifically intended to pass on. If I could show you how to substantially increase that amount of money and do it income tax free, and you still stay in complete control in case you need it, is that something you'd want to discuss? Again, not rocket science, just adding that to your existing questions or background. So who can sell this? That's the fun part about today's deal. So we have investment advisors here. We have registered reps here who are in a broker-dealer. We have career agents, whether it be New York Life or Penn Mutual or Modern Woodman, or there's a lot of different folks here that are in groups that can be somewhat restricted, especially registered reps, right? We're not allowed to sell a lot of products. Well, 3 words, as it says here: outside business activity. It's not indexed, it's not an annuity, it's not part of DOL, it's total free game. It's a huge fishing bowl that's stocked, given 85% of retirees fit into it. So, can you push play on that? So there's 44.7 million people age 65 plus. There's 10,000 Americans a day turning 65. People over 55 have 2/3 of the assets. They also own 60% of annuities. There's lots of stats, and they're big numbers, right? It's not like it's 5%. It's pretty big. Amazingly though, given as big as those stats are, how many of y'all have ever run into competition? Have you ever sent a mailer and didn't get a massive response? Sorry. It's amazing how many people are coming at retirees. I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, I get phone calls all day long. Talk about that. Has anybody noticed the uptick in these recorded voicemails? We're up to like 6 a day. That's just my office. So, it's coming from every possible direction. And the question is, how are you being different? If you're talking about the same thing as everybody else, if you're using the same company brochure as everybody else, then it's just the same sound as everybody else. How are we being different? How are we separating ourselves from the person around us? So the reality is if the 40 whatever folks here in the room all went out with the same deal and 60% are looking for it, if we had 1,000 people a day, we couldn't keep up. So there is no competition. One, we're separating ourselves. There's our stat. 85% of retirees never spend down the money. So going back to our clients and go, what is the goal? What are we trying to accomplish with this? Right? Annuities versus wealth transfer. And as you know, I'm not dogging on annuities. That's our bread and butter. But there's a lot of similarities. But the key one is assets gain instant leverage from life insurance. You're not going to get that annuity. You may get a bonus, but you're not going to get the same kind of leverage. And death benefits are income tax free. You only get that in life insurance, right? So who are we looking for? Adequate income, they earmark money to pass on. They're not going to change the spending habits of a lifetime. They're on a budget. They've got their money set aside. They spend it consistently, right? They're not going to go out and travel the world 4 times over. They've already done that. Maybe they've got it, but they're not going crazy. It's like they just won the lottery. So here's do you have any accounts or assets? Family, charity, church. And that's really the question. The other part to that, if they answer yes, if I could show you how to substantially increase the amount of money, income tax free, and you still stay in complete control of it, you can get it back at any time, no questions asked. In fact, you have additional money if your health changed. Is that something you want to talk about? The other question to that is, some people you ask, do you have any assets that you've earmarked? And they go, no, I'm going to spend it all. But then you start talking to them about their rainy day money. So, we've got a one of our groups producer there that, and admittedly a really large practice, but all he started doing is talking to people about their rainy day money. And he was rolling over the RMDs that they were taking into this, and then he was asking them, I see that you got this much in the bank account, tell me about that. Well, that's my rainy day money. They may say it one way or another, but the final answer is that. And he'd always follow up with the same response. Well, how much do you think it can rain in a day? And, there's some chuckles in there. But then the reality sets in, okay, it's not going to rain $100,000 in a day. The car may break down, the washer and dryer and this and that. how much is that going to impact us? Let's have some money set aside, but the reality is many have gotten so freaked out by the market that they put everything just sitting there. And they're still not spending all they're getting because Social Security or pension or whatever else. So, and then you go back to, if I could show you how to increase that substantially, do it income tax free, be able to pass it on, but more so, and you may not end with them, may not go on to pass it on, just increase it substantially income tax free. You're in complete control of the money, you can get to it at any time. And if that rainy day comes, what we found is the number one reason of bankruptcy in retirees is due to healthcare expenses, right? So if the rainy day happens, there's a good chance it's due to a health event. And that's a real fear. I mean, if that's the number one reason of bankruptcy, there's a reason why people are putting a bunch of money aside for a rainy day. But if we can leverage that and not just give them their money for a rainy day, but give them the insurance company's money, would that make sense? So that's wealth transfer. Health issues. Quick case study. Client's putting $100,000 into an annuity. You ask them, what's your goal with the money? Do you intend to spend it? Have you earmarked it? What's our goal here? Between age 60 and 85, reasonably good health, adequate retirement income, assets targeted for heirs, no need for complicated anything, just wants it simple. So Sarah, 75, 50,000 in the bank CD, earmarked for her grandkids, doesn't anticipate needing it. Living off the interest. So we transfer the CD into a wealth transfer single premium life insurance contract, and that 50,000 is immediately worth 67 at her age. That's her worst case. It's actually worth more than that the first decade, but that's the worst case that it gets down to. So now each grandkid gets 12.5, or actually, sorry, they get 16 rather than 12.5. That's a 34% increase just by transitioning it from one account to a different account. From the bank over to a wealth transfer policy. How long would it take 50,000 to get to 67 if you're in a 28% bracket, right? So 14 years at 3%. Question is, how many banks are paying 3%? How many are paying 2%? Well, that's 21 years. How many are paying 1%? That's 42 years to get to what she was guaranteed as a worst case. The reality is it was even higher than that. That's the worst case rate. Again, another same type of question. I heard of an idea that many people are using. I think it may be beneficial. Do you think you'll spend down your money during your lifetime? If I had a way to show you how to increase it. So that's kind of wealth transfer. That's the wealth transfer system is what we built out to go along with that. We're prospecting flyers with pre-approach letters for you to use, agent training to get you up to speed and help you understand exactly what you're doing and how to present it, fact finders, full presentation. One of the things, what's our time here?
Also, if you guys look at this brochure in here, the way that it's packaged, that the wealth transfer thing is packaged out, it's geared toward helping you promote, present, prepare your client, and then you get a prize, which is what Eric's going to go into in a second. But this kind of also lays out how it's packaged and shows you what the system looks like in your flyer, in your little packet.
Yeah, so if y'all see this is what Catherine's talking about. It's in your kit. And it just walks you through some of the pieces of this wealth transfer system that we built. It's all customized, it's branded to you. It doesn't have any company logo. It doesn't talk about any company. It's completely open architecture. So, obviously today we're sponsored with Sagicor, and there's a reason for that, because I think they've got the best product on the market, which we're about to touch on. But the reality is no company is going to be a fit for every single scenario. Some clients are going to need a different deal, and ours is we built the system so that you can always put the client first. What are we trying to accomplish? What's the goal? What's the priority? We've got a whole way to present it. That way it's not like anything they've seen, because there is no competition. I didn't build this because there's a million other IMOs building it. It's something we've worked on for over a decade that I've just continued to build a folder, and we have been successful at doing this. And we updated it and upgraded it. We made it ready for social media. So, here's landing page. Several of y'all in the room have your own. Matt happens to be in Missouri, and he said I could use it. And he keeps asking me today why he's getting weeds. Because when I hit send in just a second, Matt's going to get yet another lead. But it says test, so he knows that, because we're live on the internet. But, there's an email that drives them to the landing page. When they go to the landing page and type in their information and hit send, it immediately sends an email to you, their advisor, with all of those answers. But then what it also does, Erica, if you'll just hit submit. So when you hit submit, what it does is it immediately gives them that white paper, because it says, do this for free white paper. So we're using the Wi-Fi from my phone because we were having some technical difficulties. I think some of y'all noticed that at the beginning. But it'll load up here in a minute. But as soon as they hit submit, you get the email with all of their information that says, yes, I have money that I want to pass on. Yes, I want to do this, or, here's what I'm trying to accomplish, here's my contact information. So you get that email, and as soon as you get the email, they're getting the white paper. And the white paper is completely customized to you. It has your logo, it has your address, it has your name. It doesn't mention any insurance company. This is all branded to you, so that it's just you. Yes, ma'am. So that's part of our marketing system. So in our system, we've got a couple different options. We have a package of just the print media, so we've got, 12, 15 pieces that you can use for presenting pre-approach letters and flyers and concept pieces that you can customize yourself or have us do it. And then we have another section that is a little more hands-on on our part, where we design a couple emails and landing pages for you. We do the white paper, we design a postcard, and all of that. There's coding involved in that. But so that's the deal with that. If you decide you want to do that, we've got pieces on that. It's under HyattNights.com. It's the website. And then what we do is, I believe that we use stuff that we think works, right? That we believe in. So the cost that it costs us to build out the pieces, if you want us to do it, we charge you for that. It's a total of $250 if you want everything customized. And our deal is, if you'll write a $25,000 case with Sagicor, we'll reimburse your $250. If you just want the emails and postcards and landing pages, that's $125. If you want all the collateral pieces, that's $75. Or you can do it yourself for free on all the collateral pieces. But if you want us to do everything, it's I think $250. And we reimburse every penny of that once you do a $25,000 case or cases to get you up to that range. So we're not trying to, we just think people focus when they have skin in the game, and it costs us money. That's the straight up price. And we'll even help you mail it. We can help you buy the list. We can help you do the mailers. Here, I will tell you this. The pieces are great. Dallas is bombarded. So the best way this system works is to use it cross-selling your existing relationships and clients. We do get responses off Facebook. We are doing some paid advertising on there and click ads with Google and stuff like that, and you get responses, but you'll never get any kind of response that you get from working with your existing book or finding a disability income producer or a long-term care producer and working together. That tenfold works better.
We personally put just a Facebook thing to our friends on the wealth management system. It was interesting, we got leads not for just wealth transfer, but other people were just like, oh, well, hey, we need life insurance, or we just need whatever. And so it's neat also if you just do a post on your own personal
turned into leads just by posting it, because people see it and they go, oh, that's cool. I didn't know y'all did that. But then part of what we do is we actually, when we build out the landing pages, if you take that link and post it on Facebook, it's automatically going to input the picture, it's going to input the title, it's going to input the description. It does all that for you, so you're not having to do any coding. We've already built it into it, so it's optimized for Facebook. So literally all you do is copy that website link, post it, paste it into your Facebook page, and it comes up with a nice picture with the title, and when they click on it, it goes to your page with your information. So, that said, everybody in here, I think your next page after that brochure was an illustration. And Luke, if you'll come up here with me for a second. So one illustration says single premium life. The other side says index annuity. So look at the single premium life page. It looks like this. Well, no, it looks like that. Interest sensitive.
Yeah, questions or what?
I'm tired of talking. But here's the illustration. You literally make the whole cell. Once the clients, you've gone through Fact Finder, you're ready to, the client's going, oh, this sounds interesting. Will you show me an illustration so I can see how it worked for me? 100% of the cells made off this page on the illustration.
Yeah. When I'm working with an agent and they're talking about wealth transfer, what I try to do is encourage them to sell off the guaranteed side. Because what happens is, and a client only remembers what they think they heard. So if you can convince them that by putting $100,000 into this product, and they're instantly going to get a $200,000 death benefit as a minimum death benefit, when they start getting their statements and they start seeing the cost of insurance coming out, they're not going to be as worried about it because they understand that that $100,000 has bought them or their beneficiaries $200,000 worth of death benefit that will transfer to them tax-free. The interest-sensitive product, we declare an interest rate every year. Right now it's at 4%. Our minimum guarantee is 3%. So this is like a fixed annuity comparison. You can show them $100,000 depending upon their age. We'll get a minimum death benefit, and then if we're able to pay more interest in years to come, then their death benefit as well as their cash value will grow. The two things that this product has that gives your clients the security of knowing that if they ever need their money is a return premium from day one. So if they have a bad dream, they get excited about something, and they've got that $100,000 in our product, they decide, I don't want this product anymore. All they have to do is request their money, and we're going to send back at least the $100,000 that they put in. Depending upon it, when they ask for it, they may have a little more interest in it. But they're guaranteed their $100,000 if that's what they put in back at any time. Now, as an agent, you don't want that to happen until the third year. Because in the first 2 years, you have a charge back on that money. The other thing that this product has is a chronic illness benefit. And we probably have the best chronic illness benefit in the fact that there's a one-page request for the benefit to be paid out. And it has to be filled out by the client. There's one page, and the second page, it's the physician. Their physician fills out that they cannot perform 2 of the 6 ADLs, and we reserve the right to get one of our doctors to check it out. But normally, it's just their physician fills out the paperwork, sends it in, and then we're going to start paying a chronic illness benefit. The way that benefit works is we're going to look at the death benefit when it's triggered. Whatever that death benefit is, we're going to take $25,000 off that death benefit, keep it in the contract as a permanent death benefit to keep the contract alive, and then the remainder is divided by 33 paid out over 33 months. It's not a reimbursement, they don't have to qualify. The only qualification is the conditions are going to last 90 days or longer, and it can't be triggered until after the first year. Anything else?
Questions?
What's the chargeback percentage at
11% first year, 50% second year.
third years?
Third year, there is none.
Yeah.
Your interest rate you said was minimum 3, you said
Correct.
for the full term?
Correct. But if we can pay more, if the interest rates ever go up, and we can pay more, then we will pay more.
Give a max on it?
No.
Maximum?
No.
Yeah, so it's currently paying 4. The minimum
First
is
year.
3. Right.
It's for the first year, it's gonna go to 3 the second. Because interest rates are just not good. Yes, sir.
And you said there's a 90-day waiting period after the.
After the
doctor
first year,
said-
correct.
Oh, after the first year, right. The Doctor
Okay, let
says, and the
Let
part
me,
through the
let me
6 executive.
rephrase that, okay? Let's say you take out the policy, and let's say you get in an accident, and the doctor says, you're not gonna be able to perform 2 of the 6 ADLs for 90 days or longer. And it's happened out the day after your anniversary of the policy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take that information from the doctor. He says it's gonna last 90 days or longer, so that's what's gonna trigger. It's not a 90-day
The
waiting
waiting
period.
period is how long?
The only waiting period is the first year. It just can't be triggered in the first year.
Okay.
Now, in all states that it's available in, Illinois it's not available, California it's not available, and I think, now I'm not gonna lie to you, I think Missouri, but I have to double check. Anyway, those states, if you have a client that, let's say they're in a car accident, and they trigger that benefit. Let's say they go 6 months, they get better, they decide they don't want that benefit anymore. In the states that it's available in, except Florida, they can stop it, and then if it happens again, whatever routine security of knowing they've got access to the money.
And the benefit is tax-free.
Correct, because it's an acceleration of the death benefit. Correct. Yes, sir.
So in that example, if you took out 75,000, you still had 25,000, what is the death benefit?
Dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what separates Sagicor from most everybody else is one, theirs is a cash benefit. It's not reimbursement. Most everybody else, you have to pay all the money up front, and then if you meet their specifications, they'll reimburse you. But you have to go through their definition of a facility or their definition of a care provider. Where Sagicor, once you qualify, they start paying cash, and you use it however you deem. So you can hire your kids or your grandkids or whatever, and then what was the other one? I didn't completely answer your question because I went to that part.
No, you did. He said how much is the death benefit?
Yeah, but then the death benefit's dollar for dollar, which is the other key thing. Because most companies, if you're going to one of the major life carriers that's fully underwritten, and they're going to have a chronic illness benefit, that actuary is going to determine your life expectancy. And though you may have $1 million benefit, they may say, well, we'll give you $250,000. And then, and you're like, okay, I'll take the $250,000. It's a lump sum, which is great. But then you're like, what about the other $750,000? And it's like, no, you got a quarter. The rest is gone. Now, it may be more than a quarter. It may be 500 or 3/4. But the reality is, with most of the carriers, they're going to have an actuarial decision based on your life, and it's not dollar for dollar. It's whatever they give you is what you get, and everything else is lost. With Sagicor, if you take out $100,000 and your death benefit was $250,000, then you still have $150,000 of death benefit. So you took out $100,000, it was $250,000. Now you have $150,000 left as a death. So there is no loss, not even a penny, other than there's a $250 fee to get it started. Otherwise, it's to the penny. You know exactly what you're going to get, and you can spend it however best fits you.
And if you have clients that can't qualify, that are healthy, but can't qualify for a long-term care benefit, this is a perfect product for it, because what I know about long-term care is you use it or you lose it. This isn't that way. If you don't use it for a chronic illness, you're not gonna lose it. The beneficiary will get the death benefit, you still have a cash value. If you're still alive in 100 years and you want that cash value, you're gonna have a cash value that's still available to you. So, it's still a great product for those that might not qualify for long-term care.
Okay, how about the overshoot grant for the, okay?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Overshoot grant, just like you should stay overseas,
And so if they're traveling overseas,
or stay there, or go back there, go back there.
if you've got a US, if it's paying into a US bank account, they don't know if you're traveling or not. But
Now, are we talking about the chronic illness benefit for that? Okay. In the policy, it says that in order for that to pay out in a foreign country, they have to be treated by a U.S. doctor, a U.S. trained doctor. So if if they're overseas and that doctor has gotten training and gotten their doctor here in the United States, it will pay out because that's the way the contract
They
is.
must have pumped over there, you have the gas license.
say that again, Jerry?
US license.
Yeah, they have to be US licensed doctor, but you could be overseas. So the perfect example of why I like this, and we're out of time, Scott, we'll try to take yours. Here's why cash is absolutely king. Some of y'all know, but my dad lives with us now, and he has dementia, 75 years old. Before he did, in 2008 and 9, my grandmother, 94 years old, had dementia and Alzheimer's. She lived with us for a year until her health just wouldn't allow it anymore. But we were looking for someone to care for, right? Someone had to be there 24/7, and we needed to hire someone. So we started searching around, and a couple families in our church were like, oh, Sonia, she's incredible. She took care of my mom for 7 years, and then she took care of the Harrisons and all. You need to call her. So we called Sonia, sweetest lady you ever met. She was $10, $12 an hour. She was incredible. She loved my grandmother. She cooked. She would clean up around the house. They went for walks every day to make sure she was moving. She would bathe her. She was family, right? But there were days that Sonia couldn't be there. And when Sonia couldn't be there, we called this care provider. They were $27 an hour. They had no relationship. They were on the clock. They didn't want my grandmother walking. They wanted her to sit there because liability, right? Night and day difference. Other than the fact that it was twice as expensive to go through a care provider. That's the difference between reimbursement and cash. It's huge. That's why I like them.
Then remind me, what is the maximum death benefit available per life?
Okay. Yeah, age 85.
But then the max
The
death
maximum
benefit,
death benefit.
there's,
If I've got a client and they want this, and they want to put $1 million in, I don't think they'll take it. So the question
Are
is,
they healthy?
we've had 5.5 million of that a few
well,
times.
but I'm confused.
Okay, the chronic
We ran
illness,
into-
the chronic illness benefit goes up to $250,000. So no matter how much you
Chronic
get,
illness benefit,
Chronic illness.
that's the limit, not
Right.
the death benefit on the
No.
product.
Right.
we have a net amount of risk that the point of sale is based on, the phone interview. If you go over the net amount of risk for the age, then we're going to pull an APS, and then on somebody that's got $1 million, we may go to fully underwritten, get paramedics and that type of deal. But if you keep it under the net amount of risk, and it's a point of sale process where it's a phone interview only, and then our underwriters will make a determination of whether they qualify. The net amount of risk is the amount of premium put in and how much
The death benefit.
the death benefit. So if you put 100,000 in, let's say it's a 85-year-old, net amount of risk for that person is 50,000. Put 100,000 in, if that bought 165,000, that 65,000 is your net amount of risk. So that would take it over that. But that's a bad example because 100,000 at age 85 is not going to buy 165,000 worth of death benefit.
So is there a maximum insurance contract?
Maximum is based on individual situations.
Really? I have a 40-year-old healthy, could you put 10 million?
all we can do is send it to our underwriter and see if they're willing to take it. Because we gotta take into it. Right.
Yeah, well, we can definitely cover individual. We've had approval multiple times for over 5 million. A lot of carriers is 500,000. I don't know really anybody else that's above 1 million. Sagicor's 5.5, even more. So they will. Doesn't mean they will every time, but they will. So we've got to move on. But we're going to be around during the golf. All these folks are going to be here, so ask all the questions